I have been getting so many comments on how long my hair has gotten, and that is all thanks to Wellbell. If you are struggling with hair loss, damage, or just your hair health in general, Wellbell is the perfect supplement for all of your hair, skin, and nail needs. I started my Wellbell journey after trying literally everything in the book. If you go to my IG highlight titled Wellbell, you can see for yourself the major results I've gotten taking the product consistently. It has absolutely changed my life, and I am forever grateful. Wellbell is a physician-formulated capsule with the highest quality ingredients. They're vegan, and they have products for women, Women Plus, and a men's line. Say hello to healthier, stronger hair with Wellbell. You can use code Veronica10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order on wellbell.com. That's code Veronica10, Veronica 10 at checkout for 10% off. Head to wellbell.com, WELLBEL.com, and use code Veronica10 at checkout. Hello, and welcome back to Martinis and Bikinis. I am your hostess, Veronica Droulia. And let me start off by saying that I am so incredibly excited for today's guest. You are going to love her. She is known in the city as New York's friendliest. She's an incredibly inspiring entrepreneur and content creator, and she truly has the most insane work ethic I've ever seen. She's the co-founder of a full-service marketing agency called Brand Caffeine, and she's cultivated one of New York's most inclusive, exclusive social clubs where you go solo and leave as friends. It's called Hot and Social. They host monthly free coffees, numerous events around the city. They've even started a pickleball league and a summer camp for women in their 20s through their 40s called Camp Social, which is happening this summer. She seriously does it all with an essentially skeleton team, and I am exhausted just saying all of that. So today we are going to be chatting all things humble beginnings, starting your own business, harnessing your power as a content creator and as a businesswoman, building a community, and so much more. So my little teenies, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Liv Schreiber to Martinis and Bikinis. Hello, and welcome to Martinis and Bikinis, the podcast for everything under the sun. I am your hostess, Veronica Droulia, and I am here to help you navigate your 20s through all things lifestyle, beauty, and fashion. So, if you're ready, let's dive into today's episode. Oh, they are. Yeah. We're recording, right?
Yeah, rolling.
Okay, cool.
I didn't even realize.
Okay, cool.
We're vibing here.
We are vibing.
What's my arm doing? Who am I hanging out with?
I love it. I don't know what mine's doing either. I just have mine like this.
I feel like I'm going to be very unhinged, and I'm a little nervous about what I'm going to say.
Wait, no, please be unhinged. I love the unhinged.
You don't have to ask twice. Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
With our culture pop.
This is so exciting.
This is exciting.
Cutest glasses ever.
Liv, welcome to Martinis and Bikinis.
Woo!
So I'm so happy to have you here, and it's so nice to meet you in person because you were just like such a radiant light of energy. Like the minute you walked in the room, I was like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna kiki. This is gonna be fun. But I really like to start out these episodes with the roots. So I want to know where you're from, maybe like a little bit about your childhood, how you got to where you are today, and maybe like things that people might not know about you.
I like this. And we were just talking about your farm in Louisiana, or where your mom is.
I feel like I talk about it all the time. But yeah, I'm from Louisiana.
Did you have animals?
Yes.
Or do you?
Yes. So we rescue retired racehorses from the kill pens in Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
That's my dream.
Oh my gosh.
I need to come to your farm.
Come to my farm.
No. I love horses. I'm obsessed. I wasn't a horse girl growing up, but like I recently became a horse girl.
Well, you can come be like a full-time horse girl for a few days. Come to the farm. We'll like have the whole 9 yards.
What? Wow. I'm sorry I got distracted.
No, it's okay. I love it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you.
I, like you, grew up in kind of a farm-esque environment. I actually grew up with 3 goats.
Oh my god.
Which many people don't know. Shout out Roxy, Mangos, and Sparkles.
Oh my god.
I think they're all dead.
Mango and Sparkles?
Yes.
Those are the best names ever.
My twin brother actually named Sparkles. I named Roxy because she liked rocks. And Roxy was a big brand at the time too. So I felt very cool girl with my goat. She was like my baby. I wrote my college essay about growing up with 3 goats. And then we got a dog eventually because my mom grew up with 3 goats. And my grandpa, who owned supermarkets, Seatown, he used to bring back all the produce and the old lettuce from the stores, and they would feed the goats. And so growing up, we wanted a dog. I never wanted goats, to be clear. And she said, in order to prove you're responsible enough for a dog, you need to take care of goats.
Wow.
And this is what every family does. She totally lied to us. I'm like, I don't see any other family's goats. So we really worked day and night to feed our goats in the rain, sun, winter. Scary stuff happened in that barn. Flying squirrels would come at us.
Whoa.
A lot of people don't know that about me.
Did you get them as babies or were they?
We got them as babies, and all of them had very different personalities. Sparkles was very vicious. Vicious. I know with a name like Sparkles, you'd think otherwise. She was scary. So we had to deal with their different personalities in a myriad of ways. I would come in with a sword, like the top of an aluminum garbage bin, and I would sword my way and fence because she would butt. And I used to go to this private school, and I'd be wearing my uniform after school to feed her, and so her horns would like go up, and all the girls would wear spandex, so they'd like really get in there, and so I needed a sword. And
yeah, you needed to defend yourself.
That's how I built, I think, a lot of my perseverance and
resiliency.
endurance.
Yeah, it's giving Simple Life, kind of.
It is. It is. I went to private school with a lot of bitchy kids, so it was like, if you're a real one, can you throw away your Cartier and get in the barn with us, get dirty?
Did you go to a big school? Or
no, I had 100 kids in my grade.
Wow.
I actually never really talked about that, yeah.
I graduated with 30.
What?
Yeah, so I also went to a small private school.
Everyone knows everything.
Oh, everything. And then all the parents are really involved. And yeah, it can be a little toxic, but obviously a blessing to have that sort of environment. But there's also its vices for sure.
It's wild. By senior year, I felt like everyone was just like clawing to get out because it's like everyone has dated who they want to date or you don't want to date. At that point, like all the boys are like your brothers. It's very weird.
Feels like incestual.
It does. But it was a great upbringing, and I loved the school. It was called Morristown. It is Morristown Baird School in Morristown, New Jersey, because like they allowed us to start whatever we wanted. So I got to start the fashion club and a girls empowerment club and like all these things that I just wanted to do. They allowed. So I'm really grateful.
You grew up really close to New York.
Yes.
So you've spent like most of your life coming into the city, I assume, and being here and living here and building your community. I would love to know how you started from, going to the farm and being with goats and going to private school and then ending up here and starting this incredible community called Hot and Social. And you also have a brand called Brand Caffeine, and you've worked with some amazing brands like you worked with Teen Vogue and just like these ultra dream, incredible brands. I would love to know how you started with these humble roots and now you're just like killing it and you're so successful here in New York City and just slaying all over the place. But I think it's absolutely so incredible and inspirational, and I really admire it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I really love that, like, you're a really great interviewer, by the way. Just kudos to you, because sometimes you talk to people and they have you start from a very topical start, and I just feel like I can automatically get deep with you. So
yeah, let's get deep.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
I went to Wisconsin and for college, the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I got there and didn't feel like I fit in. To anyone from the Midwest who may be listening, the culture there is so different. So when I was a junior, I realized that I just wanted to go abroad and never go back to Madison. I wanted to make money and see New York and finally get to live here and figure it out. So I graduated a year early from Wisconsin, and I called it my bonus year, my senior year. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try, and I'm just going to try to figure it out before my friends graduate, I have this lucky 12-month period where I can kind of decide where I want to go and what path I want to be on. So I started in real estate, and I was so lonely. I was so sad. And you'd think I'm from New Jersey. I have grown up coming into the city, but I didn't know anyone because I was 21 years old. All my friends were still in college, and I was like jealous of people on the street. So I started posting under my desk as a broker, uplifting quotes because I was so sad and I had to cheer myself up to get through the day. And I fell in love with digital marketing. I didn't even know what it was. And I started to teach other brokers in the office how to brand themselves and how to post content that wasn't boring. And then I got fired from real estate and decided that I had no idea what I was going to do in my life. So I was like applying to tons of jobs. And I was on a run one morning after getting fired, and I had tears streaming down my face. And I got a text and it said, "Hey, Liv, are you taking any more social media clients?" And I was like, "What?" And I replied back, "I only have one spot left." And he said, "Great, let's get on a call." And how I started Brand Caffeine, my marketing agency, is exactly that. It just fell into my lap, and that was the beginning of building an audience. And I think the answer to figuring it out is you just say yes and you figure it out later. And so that's been my strategy for all the businesses that I've started.
That is so amazing. I love that you were just willing to go for it, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not doing that. And I love that you just like hit the ground running and jumped on that call, and the rest is history.
I mean, I had no clue what I was doing. And I think that's what I wish everyone knew, is that you don't need to know what you're doing. You need to be a good person. You need to be hardworking. You need to, obviously, I'm not saying become a lawyer or a doctor without credentials, but if you believe in yourself and you know you could do the job at least 80%, well, there's a quote, and the quote says, "Pretend you have the confidence of an old white man." And I have a twin brother. So I always like to think, would my brother say he's equipped to do this job? Because I think as women, we are like, no, we have to be 100% perfect, having done this for 10 years in order to say yes to something.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't consider themselves expert level, but then when you start asking them questions, for example, maybe it's a social media manager and they're not considering themselves an expert, but then you say, "How long have you been on social media? How many clients like have you worked with?" It doesn't really matter, but like, how many people like do you have in your network that you are capable of working for and catering to? And how many times a day do you post on social media? How many times do you like actually absorb this information? And I think there's like so many things that we have to ask ourselves when we're trying to consider ourselves an expert at something, because if it's something that you're constantly thinking about, or something that you're passionate about, or something that you can do like the back of your hand, you're considered an expert. And I think more people need to be more aware of that and have the confidence to say that.
Right. And by the way, if you don't feel confident in yourself, say, "Hey," to the potential client, "let's do a trial period."
Yeah.
Let's do a trial, and I'll show you all I got. And I do that with a lot of people who work on my team. They always start out, on a trial period, because I don't think that anyone should hire me and my team just off the bat. And I wouldn't hire someone just off the bat based off them saying they're amazing. So you have time to prove to others that like you do have what it takes.
Right.
So, I always think just say yes, and FIO strategy, figure it out later.
So I love that you have essentially built your brands as like an entire skeleton team. You've basically taken all these concepts and ideas and been your own cheerleader through it all. And you're running these incredible brands, and you have, I'm sure, like a handful of team members, but from what I hear, you do a majority of everything yourself, which is so just incredibly ambitious and amazing, and I feel like you have such a good connection with the people that you work with. How do you juggle doing all of those things? And how did you build your brands essentially with a skeleton team?
Oh boy. So the first thing my dad always taught me is to always say we in business. You always say my team and I, you always say I'm going to get back to them. You never agree to something on the spot. You say, yep, let me check with my co-founder. I've made up that I am my own assistant just to negotiate better deals for paid partnerships. I've created my own assistant emails to myself. I'm really spilling all the secrets here.
I love this. But I feel like people aren't as willing to be honest about this stuff. And I feel like it's cool that you're able to give these tips and help people achieve these things. Because sometimes it does start with you.
It starts with you. I had no money when I started. And so it's like I had to be the account manager for Brand Caffeine, also the customer service, also the video editor, and the person acquiring lead generation. So it's like, you're all these personalities in your head. We are a team.
Exactly. I mean, you are doing all those things and you are taking on all of those roles. So it's just maybe putting it into a more professional light if you have these different access points.
Right. And for Hot and Social, so I started this company called Hot and Social, and I was feeling lonely, as I shared before. And once I built a following on social, my community on Instagram, they're like, Liv, where do you make all these friends? And I'm like, I just go up to people on the street and tell them I like their shoes. Like, I didn't realize that everyone else felt just as lonely as I did. And I could talk to that tree in the corner and be fine. But New York is so hard. People are so closed off and phones don't help. So I started throwing these events where the only rule is that people come solo and they leave as friends. And I didn't expect it to blow up or anything. As you know, I don't even drink, but I love people and I love energy and I love introducing people to each other. So we've done over 40 events in the past 2 years, partnering with big brands like Bumble and The Challengers and Barbie the movie.
Tell us more about last night. So you had the big movie launch with Challengers.
Yes.
How did it go?
It was great. Thank you. It was, I got a last minute call from MGM Studios.
What? That is insane.
They called me on Thursday. We had Hot and Shabbat for 300 people on Friday of all religions. And then Sunday we had our Camp Social, which is camp for women in their 20s to 40s for 3 days this summer. Those tickets went live and 450 women are coming.
And it sold out in 25 minutes.
How do you know that?
I saw it on social media, but also crazy. We had just confirmed this recording, I want to say a few hours before. My friend messages me the post and says, oh my gosh, I just signed up for this. We should go. And she lives in DC. And I immediately was freaking out and said, her name's Victoria. I was like, Vic, you're going to freak out. I just booked Liv for a podcast session, and that's crazy that you sent me this. But at that point, it was sold out. So I was like,
let me talk to the boss and see what I can
do. No, it sounds like it's going to be so fun.
You're coming.
I love that. Well, I would love to be a part of it. So we'll chit chat.
I'll talk to Liv.
Yeah,
I'll let you know. I'll talk to her. Wait, that's good. You're coming camp.
Okay, so I love that it's in the Poconos. I've never been there before, and
you're gonna love it.
It's so fun.
We're farmer girls. You're gonna freak.
I think it's so incredible that you've built this summer camp for women in their mid-20s to 40s, and I was listening to a video that you posted, and you were saying how whenever we get older, we kind of lose that sense of just childhood and that raw feeling of just living free and not really having to care about what people do and how they provide for themselves and all of that sort of jargon that we hear every day. And I love that you've actually turned that idea into this incredible Camp Social that is happening in August, correct?
Camp Social.
Yes.
There you go. I'm not wearing a bra. Sorry if I flashed anyone.
No, it's okay. I'm not either.
I can't remember the last time I wore a bra.
I have one bra.
Like what?
Like one normal
It was
bra.
such a high school thing to wear bras, wasn't it?
Well, People
or college.
I don't know. I feel lucky that I don't have to wear one because I do have friends that definitely have to wear them, or they don't have to, but they choose to. But yeah, I feel free.
I feel free. I'd like some more tatas if anyone wants to donate.
Same.
Anyway,
we're taking donations
from Camp Social to boobs. Yes, I'll show you the back of the t-shirt. It says, "You haven't met all the people who are going to love you" on the back.
Wait, I love that.
Do you see?
I see it. We're gonna zoom in on that.
Okay. Do you see it? Right here. I'm so proud. I'm so excited for these t-shirts.
It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love how you incorporated that almost origin story of how you were under your desk posting quotes and now you have it on a t-shirt for an event that you're throwing through your brand. I think that's so amazing.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you to experience it. It's a ton of activities. Girls aren't on their phones and everyone comes solo. So the intention is palpable. You feel the energy and you feel that everyone is just coming to make new friends. And when we even asked all the girls who signed up, what are you most excited for on stories, they all said just meeting new people. So how is it not going to be the most magical event, whether it's Hot and Social in New York City or, Camp Social for women, when people have their intentions so aligned? So that's the magic. It's not about me. It's about the people who come, and they're the best. They're seriously the best.
I was reading some of the testimonials on your Instagram, and it's so cool how people band together from your events. And you've hosted workouts before and other events, and people just come together that have similar interests and they develop these friend groups. And I think that's so amazing that you've created that outlet for people here in New York City, because there's a lot of people that are moving here solo or moving here kind of wanting to branch out, wanting to be in different friend groups, or maybe they've been living here and they're tired of this toxic clique that they've been associated with for a while. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great that you have this outlet for people to come together and build communities of their own.
Thank you. And there are guys too. So at Hot and Social, Hot and Shabbat, the guys were so hot. There were 200 guys that showed up all solo. And I actually think it's harder for guys than it is for girls to get out of their comfort zone, because it's you're born and you're a frat bro and college just encourages that, and that's where all the bars and all the guys hang out, and I think it's very hard for men. So I'm really proud that we can provide Camp Social in the summers, and we have our Hot and Girl dinners, which are our monthly dinners for 50 women. We have that tomorrow night. But we also are doing Hot and Bro dinners and pickleball, where guys and girls show up for our pickleball league, and parties where guys and girls come, and free coffee once a month. So it's there's something for everyone. And it's not a members club. You pay as you go. You pay if you want to come to an event. And I think that's just how it should be. It should be easy.
Yeah. I have no idea how you do it, because everything you just listed out sounds like it's impossible to plan. So I love that you are planning this and having these environments where people can actually talk and be intentional and get to know each other, because I feel like New York has a very big going out scene. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I love to go out and dance with friends, and I don't like to do it all the time, but I think it's fun to have that experience here in the city. It's truly magical sometimes, but I think it's hard to really get to know somebody when you're in a club environment or a bar. It's loud, there's music playing, and it's hard to have those really deep intentional conversations. So I think it's great that people are able to go open up, be vulnerable, and leave with friends and leave as friends.
It's so fun, and they think I'm so weird. I think I am the inside joke of everyone who comes to Hot and Social, because I will take two people their Barbie dolls and be you, have you met yet? Okay, bye. And I'll just run away. But a lot of people have met their roommates, their best friends. I had 5 girls who went to another girl's wedding and they all had met at Hot and Social. One of the girls actually flew in from Texas, who had moved out of New York just to come to her friend's wedding, who she met at Hot and Social.
That's so special. Week. It's building long-lasting connections, which I feel is really rare, because you hear about different communities and ways that you can meet other people, but I think having a space where you can make these long lasting connections is really rare. And what type of people are coming to these events? Like, I know you've mentioned that it's people in their 20s to 40s, but are these like any particular people that have interests that are the same? Like what is like the ideal person to walk in the door?
That's a great question. And I would say the answer, because we don't talk about what we do. Like, I literally don't know what anyone does. I was with tons of people last night at our Challengers movie launch with Hot and Social, and like the topic of work doesn't come up, which is the most refreshing thing and crazy, given that that's all we talk about in New York City. The first thing you say to someone is, what do you do? So I would say every single person is open to meeting people. They usually work really hard and they're busy and they don't have time to like go out often. Or they go out a lot and they have high school and college friends. They're looking for something new. Most people that show up surprisingly aren't the most outgoing. Like, there's a whole array of people. And the reason I say that is because when you show up solo, you think that like you have to be the most confident person, but we have like super shy people and we have super outgoing people, and I think that's what makes it special.
Yeah, I think it's great that you can kind of have those extroverts that can pull those introverted people out of their shell. And I think just having people that have this like shared interest of wanting to get to know other people and make connections and bonds is like really amazing. Going back to Camp Social. So if you want to explain just what it is and what people are going to be doing there. I heard something about games and Olympics and things like that, but I would love to hear the whole rundown of what that weekend is going to look like.
Of course, now that you're coming. So we get on the buses in the West Village Friday. Not going to disclose the location because we're sold out and I don't want people hopping on the bus. No, I'm just kidding. But everyone has an option to bus in or drive themselves. I always recommend girls take the bus because it's the total camp experience.
Oh, for sure.
We're partnering with a surprise food supplier, I shall say, restaurant that makes sure that all the girls are fed on the bus, and we have some bus counselors that like make the ride from New York to the Poconos really fun. So we get to camp and it then ensues in finding your bunk. We have counselors for every single bunk from London and Australia, which is the coolest thing.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's so exciting. And our girls are from all over the world and the country. We have girls flying in from the Netherlands, Spain, London, Australia, of course, Canada, and then California, Texas, Alabama. Like, your friend from DC is coming. People are making major efforts to come in.
Yeah.
We also have a hotel partnership for the girls who are flying in the night before. And then I don't want to rack the camp, but Sleepaway Camp is basically just tons of activities and sports or relaxing activities that encourage you to try new things with new people. So the girls rotate from activity to activity, and we have tubing, water slide, pool party. We have morning sunrise yoga, hikes. We have arts and crafts. We have, oh my God, there's so much. We have pickleball, we have volleyball, kickball. I don't want to give away all of the activities. And then we have group dining hall experiences. So you go into the dining hall for breakfast. We have a dietary chef for any girls who are like me, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, any allergies. So like they have their own personal chef that I'm really proud of.
Oh my gosh.
Because no camps offer that.
No.
And then fresh food, and we have cocktail hours. As you know, I don't drink. So it's not alcohol focused. We're also not focused on getting like, excuse my language, but fucked up. It's not really about that. But if you want some wine and charcuterie, we have that.
Sure.
We're partnering with a few alcohol companies, and then we go into nighttime. And we have disco parties, we have s'mores, I can't wreck the surprise, but the next day we may or may not, rumor has it, be having Olympics, which is when the team the camp breaks up into teams of 4, and it gets competitive and it gets fun. And that's all I can say. We end camp having left with over 300 new friends.
I mean, that sounds amazing. And as a former camp girl, this is like everything in my wildest dreams. I was listening to the What Fulfills You podcast that you were on, and you mentioned that you were the social chair of your sorority. And
before I got kicked out, yeah.
Wait, I need to hear that story. We need to hear that story.
Maybe for another episode.
Yeah, maybe another day. But anyway, I would love to know, were you a camp girl? Did you go to camp?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I can totally see it. I feel like this is like your bread and butter. But I had made some, and to this day, these are some of my best friends, people that I've gone to summer camp with since I was in elementary school. So I feel like whenever you put people in this position, there's no way they don't leave as friends. You're bonded forever.
Oh, yeah. And the girls from Camp Social last summer, they travel the world together. They tag us in all their posts. We have a best friend trio from Chicago, Arkansas, and where's Maddie's from Chicago, Larissa's from Arkansas. Oh, and Utah. And they get together and they travel the world together.
I'm obsessed.
Like, it's unbelievable. So it's really nice the way that the girls come together and continue to come to Hot and Social throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And now have convinced other girls to come to camp. So
I would love to know how you built it up to what it is today, because you guys have an amazing following. You yourself have an amazing following. You've worked with some incredible brands with Brand Caffeine. How did you build like the resilience to like keep pushing forward as a creator? And what tools or skills can you share with the audience that can possibly inspire them on their journey or help them in any way, shape, or form? Because I feel like you have such a knack for building a community online as well. And yeah, I would love to hear all of your tips and tricks.
I would say you just got to be cringe. I mean, there are plenty of people out there who think I'm probably toxic positivity, cringe. I mean, I've seen all the Reddit things, and that and people who talk about you comes with doing anything. If you want to do anything that is different from anyone, people are not going to like it because they themselves are scared and don't feel like they have the confidence to do it themselves.
Yeah. I also feel like people don't talk about Reddit enough, but I can say, and I'm speaking factually here, that people that are posting on Reddit have nothing better to do with their lives than to shit on other people. And if you're going to let people that are doing that affect what you're doing, then you need to do some healing, because I think you have to have that inner confidence to keep going and push towards your dreams, because we only have one life.
Right. Yeah. Listen, we only have one life. And also, it's not that everyone is a hater. I'd say 90%, if not 95% of everyone I've encountered in New York on screen or online has been unbelievable and incredible and kind and nothing but supportive. And that's awesome. Yeah. And not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to start their own thing, and not everyone should. So kudos to everyone who has been incredible. I think for anyone taking the time out of their day to hate, if they would take that same time and just invest it in themselves, they would see a far greater return, a good ROI. So, if you ever feel like hating on someone, I just think you got to look deeper and be like, should I just go take a walk on the West Side Highway? That's probably a better use of your time. Yeah.
Well, I always find that like anytime I get a hate comment, it's over the most minuscule things. And I'm just like, I didn't even realize that like that was something that would bother somebody, Yeah. So I think you just have to continue living your life, because people are going to shit on it regardless.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with you,
Yeah. And if it does have something to do with us, like for Camp Social, the account, it was literally at 2,000 followers for months. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks ago, it went crazy viral. And I was like, what is going on? I was texting Alex. I was like, I don't even know what's happening. And now I think it's probably going to beat my following out in the next week or so. It's growing so quickly. And I would say the key to growth is addressing questions. And I think that's how we've grown is, by feeding into those questions instead of ignoring any criticisms, or especially when it comes to business. People have so many questions. Yeah. Am I allowed if I'm 41? Am I allowed if I'm this or that? And just not ghosting people is the key to success. And if you're putting yourself out there, you're putting yourself out there through the good and the bad. So if they don't like the color of your earrings, you can explain why your earrings are this versus being silver.
Yeah.
That's our job.
No, and I think customer service is so big in any brand, and being like able to respond and being positive when you're responsive is like so essential. So how do you juggle like the customer service aspect like with everything that you're doing?
Oh gosh. I just got off a meeting with our email marketing team, and it's just about being as transparent and clear as possible, but also knowing, and my parents, they run a handbag company, and in their office, I grew up looking at the quote, which my dad had plastered everywhere. And it said, it takes months and years to find a customer and seconds to lose one. And so for any customer, any issue ever, for camp, for hot and social, or any person that just wants to be heard and let us know how we can improve, I always take the time to just personally talk to them and hear how we can be better, because it's such a blessing. They're taking their time to teach us how we can better serve them.
Yeah. I think it's also so nice when people are responsive with what they need and want out of a brand, and then the brand actually implements that, and you can see like the satisfaction that radiates from that person whenever you've actually like implemented those things and their experience is like completely changed. And I think it's great to see when brands actually listen and take action. So I think it's absolutely just phenomenal that you guys are like taking your customers' opinions into consideration and building on top of that.
And not just that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go to events, and like last night, I have 2 events I have to plan. They want me to do hot and boozy brunch. I talked to the girls yesterday. So like, I'm like, okay, what day do you want? When do you want? The guys, they want hot and bro dinner. So it's like, I am not the boss. They're the boss, and I'll just make it happen. I'm their servant. You tell me what you want. So it's so cool because we get customer feedback like this. And when we partner with brands, we're able to tell them they love that flavor. They want this. They want that. So it's so cool getting to integrate our partners into that immediate feedback.
For sure. Going back a little bit, I love how you mentioned that people nowadays aren't like super present. And here in New York, you see it all the time. People like walking around on their phones and not really paying attention to the person that's next to them or having a conversation with a stranger. And I heard that you met your boyfriend in an elevator.
Yes.
And I would like love to hear how that transpired afterwards and how that was such a pivotal moment for you to realize that like being present is really key to growing relationships and connectivity.
100%. I had broken up with someone the night prior, which probably wasn't great lead time, but I made a list of all the things I wanted in my next boyfriend or partner, and I did not expect to for what happened to happen. I had just moved into my building, and I was in the West Village bringing my garbage out after work, and I walk in and this hot guy is just standing there, and I look up and I'm like, universe, got it. Okay, this is weird. And I said, hi. And he said, hi. And we didn't talk after that, and the doors opened and I brought out my garbage, and something in my head, and the more you listen to those little voices, the louder and the more you're able to hear them, which is always fun. So I listened, and I just felt like that wasn't going to be the last time that we saw each other. And I said, something's going to happen here. I don't know. For some reason, I thought he was from Ireland visiting. Don't know why that was in my head. So I go back to the doorman, and he's like, I have a note for you, but I lost it. And the doorman's freaking out. And I'm like, don't worry. Like, it's all good. It's probably a welcome note from the building. And a week goes by. I met tons of dads in the elevator. Never saw the hot guy again. And the doorman goes, I found it, Liv. I found it. I'm like, oh, what is it? And it was a Post-it note, and it said Kyle with his number. And he's like, this guy left the note for you. He met you in the elevator. And I was like, I don't want to be a mistress. this is definitely from one of the dads.
The daddies are coming.
This is one of the dads in the building. I just moved in. This is not my intention. So I was like, let's go into the package room because I was hoping it was him. And it was, but I wasn't ready. So I shoved the note in my kitchen drawer. And then a month went by. I saw him outside. I gave him a head nod, which was exactly as uncool as that looked. And now here we are living in Tribeca together.
Oh my gosh, that is so special. Was he like, did you not see my note?
Yeah, he was like, he told all his friends that like his ego is really bruised because he's not the kind of guy that goes after girls, or so he says. But he did, and
it was fate.
I don't know what it was, but it was a sign to every girl in New York City to make sure you look up and say hi, because I do think that those beautiful stories their parents tell about meeting someone at a party or meeting someone on the street, like that can happen for us. It's just we have these blocks of glass in our phone that are preventing us from seeing it.
Definitely. I always tell my friends that are complaining about the dating scene here or just in general, and I tell them, you need to go out on the street, and anytime you see a hot guy, you just need to smile at them and see what happens.
Go for it.
And I feel like just having that like physical interaction of being friendly or complimenting somebody or just saying hi, I feel like it goes a long way.
Goes the furthest way because no one's doing it.
No, nobody's doing it, and we're so plugged in. And even texting or messaging on a dating app or just anything that's like textual, I feel like there's like so
textual.
Much. Yeah,
I like that.
Not sexual, but textual. But I feel like there's like so much miscommunication and things can get misconstrued, and you can't really like reflect who you are in a organic light. So having those like physical interactions is important. And yeah, sometimes it does require you going outside of your comfort zone.
It should. I don't want to swipe on a friend. I was on one of those friend dating apps. Like I don't have friends based off how pretty they are, right?
Yeah.
Like society has it so backwards. I don't want to swipe on a guy. I can't tell you what he's like or his personality based off 2 prompts about him loving his mom and fish. I have no clue what, And I was just telling Alex, who's sitting here, right over here, how I met a guy who I want to set her up with. And he actually, sorry, Alex, to call you out like this, but he actually said to me, this guy I met yesterday at a coffee shop, he said, I just wish girls gave a signal that like they're interested. So give us, like guys just want permission, especially because it's kind of hard for guys. They don't want to seem creepy. They don't want to offend you. They don't know if you have a boyfriend. Like if you give a guy a smile, that's his sign and his cue.
Right. And everybody's scared of rejection.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, whoever you are, like everybody's scared of it. So if somebody's just out on a whim gonna walk up to your doorstep and say hello, like that's not gonna happen. Like you have to be willing to like put out the energy as well.
Put out the energy you want back.
Yeah. Like I always tell my friends too that the stork isn't gonna drop off a man in their doorstep. So you have to like go out and do something about it if you like are serious about dating and wanting to meet somebody. But I think it's so just it feels like the universe or whatever people might believe in, spiritual aspect, that you guys met in that way. And I think it's super great that you guys are just living it up here now, and
we're vibing,
yeah,
vibing it up.
But I think it's so just absolutely admiring that you have built this community of people that are able to come together and leave as friends, but you also post on social media about singles.
Yes.
And like people that are eligible bachelors or people in the city that are maybe looking for a relationship. Or I saw that you posted your uncle recently.
I did.
And I was cracking up because you put in the caption that you were looking for an aunt. And everybody in the comments was like, I'm ready to be your aunt, like cracking up laughing. But I think it's so cool that you have that segment or that series that you're posting on social media, Hot and Single. And yeah, you're just kind of opening up the space for people to meet others as well. So
I have to tell you a secret, and it's only for you and your podcast. Okay. And I saved it for today.
Oh, okay, you guys, listen up.
I have another single family member. And
who is it?
It's my twin brother. And I was never going to say that because I loved his ex-girlfriend, don't get me wrong, but I think it's time that we share it with the world. It's time to announce. And so I'm announcing it. And Ben Schreiber, you're 17 minutes younger than me, so I'm your older sister. And yes, I am hiring for a sister-in-law. The job posting is available right here on your podcast.
Yeah. Tell us more about Ben.
My brother is just so awesome. He runs the digital part of Brand Caffeine, and he also does all of the e-commerce for our family handbag company, Latico Leathers. So he's super driven, super smart, nice Jewish boy, open to all though. All can apply. And he's just... He's supportive, and he's adventurous, and he's kind, and we visit our grandparents in Connecticut all the time. We have a giant rescue dog. He's a Great Dane, Black Lab. His name's Raphael Nadog. We love tennis. Yeah. Tennis is good. Skiing. Yeah. If you're just a girl that's like outgoing and cool and kind, and you could be my friend... Just send me a DM.
Yes, we'll put an application in the show notes.
And he sounds amazing. Well, I'm not sharing it on my Instagram because we don't want to
offend anyone.
I don't want to have like someone is in my community like go on a date and then have it not work out, because that just wouldn't be cool. So
yeah, I guess you can't mix the family with business in that regard.
Correct. So I won't be posting him, but just for you to know.
Well, good to know.
Just between us.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So.
Are you single?
I am.
Oh. See, maybe
wink, wink.
Schreiber could sound good on you.
I play tennis. I ski. No,
I'm joking. There we go. A match has been made.
I'm joking. I'm going to Camp Social, and I'm going on a date with your brother. No,
I'm like sweating.
I'm sweating too. No, I'm joking. But no, he sounds absolutely incredible. And yeah, I think it's great that you create all these different outlets for people to meet and connect in whatever way, shape, or form that might be. But I have one last question for you.
Yes.
So, Liv.
Yes.
If you were to drink a martini, it doesn't have to be alcoholic, in a bikini, where would you be and what would you be drinking?
Easy. You're going to think I'm such a loser. I would be with my grandpa Lyle. I don't have boobs, so I wouldn't be embarrassed to be in a bikini with him.
Also, we'll put the application for the tatas.
Oh, yeah, that too. I need some, if anyone wants to give me their boobage, I'm here.
I'm accepting donations.
Yes. He is 87. I talk to him every day, and my grandma, I would be with them, and my grandpa doesn't like to travel, so I would be with him probably in his living room in my bikini, and I would be with my whole family because they make me so happy. My mom is like the light of my life, and I would be sipping probably on water with lemon with chia seeds.
Love.
And maybe some moringa leaves, because that's really good for inflammation. I have an autoimmune disease. And some apples and chocolate, because those are my favorite snacks. And that is probably the most bizarre answer you've gotten on the show.
It's the most amazing answer I've gotten. I love the thoroughness. That's what I aspire like people to want to answer, is like I want it to be an answer that's like very detailed and thorough. So I'm glad that you rose to the occasion.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for coming on. This was like so fun.
This was so fun.
I feel like I could talk to you for like another 2 hours.
I agree. Let's keep it going.
We'll have to do this again. This was so fun.
I'm going to see you at Camp Social.
Yes.
And also for your friends who are single, Hot and Social is really great because people come with the intention of meeting friends. Mm-hmm. And I just encourage anyone who's single listening to this to not look, don't look. Mm-hmm. Just go to things where you want to be around good energy people, invest in yourself and those activities that make you happy, and you will attract the right person to you. So I would love to see you at Hot and Social.
Yes. You guys hear that? You have to be a magnet, you have to go through life with magnetic energy so that you can meet other people that share similar values and interests and want to kiki with you.
Amen.
But if you want to share how people can be friends, how they can connect, how they can stay updated on all the amazing things that you're doing, please feel free to share.
Yes, I'm Liv Schreiber at LIVSCHREIBER on Instagram and TikTok, and Hot and Social at Hot and Social on Instagram and TikTok, and at Camp Social at Camp CAMP SOCIAL on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Love it. Well, yes. One last cheers. This was so fun.
This was so fun.
Cheers.
Cheers to our farms and our goats and our horses.
So yeah. I feel like this inspired me to just want to get a bunch of baby goats officially.
I'm glad I could influence
I'll be the girl walking around the Upper East Side with baby goats on a leash.
Give me a call. I'll join you.
I'll bring them to a Hot and Social coffee.
Done.
Well, it was so much fun having you on, Liv. Thank you again. It was such a pleasure to have somebody as successful and just bright and just full of energy on the show. And I feel like a lot of people are going to benefit from listening to this episode. So if you liked this episode, please feel free to like, rate, and subscribe to Martinis and Bikinis. And I will love you forever. But yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.